Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Komorebi. On the last Let's Play, we looked into Clace's journal and went to the town square. And it kind of reaffirms my thing that I think we're in the Matrix or something like that, because went into his room, was like, should we read his journal? At which point it gave me the option, no, I'd never do that. Glitch. No, I'd never do that. Glitch. Yes, of course I'd do that. And then went in his journal and saw a bunch of stick figures of him being alone, then someone else coming, and him dying, and him wearing a sweater that looks like a noose, and all that stuff. And it's like, I'm not sure if that's what he's actually putting in his journal or not, because it's like, A, that seems like a lot of time to just draw stick figures again and again and again and again. And also B, like, how would Argus knew about stuff? I don't know.
Experience heart-to-heart fragment.
Anyways, smoochy time. And time to set my face correct. We took Chiron to the plane to pick up the rest of his belongings. Since we're sticking together now, we wouldn't be using the plane anymore, and sorry, I still got COVID. I think I lost my sense of smell and taste, but at least everything's better. Pretty short-lived for an HQ, but our homes were clearly safer. It's weird how the safest option was the riskiest one just a little while ago. I never would have thought that we'd bring Chiron right into our house. Taylor's house either, and not only that, but the quantum leap too. However, one thing surprised me more than all the others. Chiron wanted me to come into the plane with him, alone. Everyone else was waiting outside, granting his request. Oh, so he wants me to bring his nudie mags. I'm not sure what he wanted, but I'm just standing there, watching. He's putting some stuff into a bag. Just the basics, like toiletries. Okay, I'm not sure what Americans call it. I don't think Americans say toiletries, but yeah, definitely a Canadian person made this. There's a pile of clothes on the floor. He has other outfits. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting, since everybody wears the same thing every day. As soon as he's done picking up, he turns to face me.
I think that's almost everything. Didn't realize I'd be moving in with Isaac and Taylor. Whichever house we're at, though, I'll just take the couch.
Be a lot better than this plane for sure. It must suck to leave your dream of a plane behind. At least, you won't be a trespasser anymore. It's just weird that we just go on somebody's plane and eat their stuff. You know? I don't mind sharing a bed with you, actually. We could all have a cuddle puddle.
Ooh, bold. But that's good. You never get what you want by being timid. That's part of why I'm in the city to begin with.
Yeah, fair enough. He shrugs before quickly changing the topic.
Anyway, I guess you're wondering why I asked you here. Do you think they can hear us from out there?
Do you want to make out for a bit? I shake my head. They definitely can't.
Good. I just wanted to spend some time alone with you. Yeah, I think you're the only level-headed one in the group.
Cool, even though I'm being controlled by robots. I wonder why he'd think that.
Remember, Delta, you gave me that apple. Your friends were mumbling like idiots about how to deal with me. If you're the one who opened their eyes, then you have my thanks. It makes me wonder what everyone else out there is thinking. I mean, public opinion is currently against Argus, right? Why is barely anyone else helping out? My colony is out there starving on your streets. If everyone banded together, they could easily overthrow Argus. I guess everyone is just scared to be the first to take action. But at that point, it might not even matter anymore. The actions of one person ripple and cascade. The first doesn't matter if an avalanche follows.
He's right. I guess technically, I was the first. My actions could have led to Isaac's actions. If Cypher saw that their blueprint worked, then they might spring into action. It's a little odd to think that I might be the inciting instant of all this change. I vocalize that thought, and Karen scoffs, Like he thinks I'm stupid.
Nobody saw you give me that apple, though. If it happened out in the open, maybe others would have followed suit. I think that's all it'd take. One grand gesture to push others forward.
Isn't that what Cypher plans to do next week?
If it's not too late by then, yeah. Even if 1-0 dies, that's too much. And they're getting close. Have you taken a look? Especially the children. When we first arrived, they were filled with wonder. Now they look so weak and famished. It kills me. But they must be getting food from somewhere, though. It's been a couple of weeks since we came to the city. Everyone who helps must be helping in secret. But it's clearly not enough, and the adults clearly prioritize the children. That just means the caregivers might be the first to die.
I don't think it'll come to that. But truly, who knows? And I know it's like, the saying is, what, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food?
Hermes needs to say something then. An ultimatum, but such a vague deadline? Maybe that's why Argus is taking their time.
It's true, Hermes mentioned next week. A specific deadline might make things more urgent. But Argus must be planning something behind the scenes.
What if they just don't care? If they could wait for Cypher to act, then take everyone down.
Cypher's mods seem to be undetectable.
That's too convenient. Too easy.
Cypher isn't the first organization to try, but they might succeed. Also, it's interesting that it's letting me choose but not choose again.
You mean people have tried this before?
I tell him that what Glaze told me, but ask him not to repeat it. Previous rebel groups seem to disappear without a trace.
Really?
I nod.
Then you think Cypher would be gone by now. That's a good sign. Thanks for telling me, Delta.
It's true, based on the past, Cypher would be gone by now. But they still seem to be active, and doing more than any other group in the past. The fact that Isaac used their technology is proof enough of that.
Then let's just hope this stalemate ends soon. I can't stand just not knowing what's gonna happen. Things are so hectic compared to life back home.
If things go well, this might end up being a home for him.
Fingers crossed, I guess. I knew you'd talk some sense into me, Delta. You're the best one of the bunch. I know it.
Yeah, bunch. Of apples. He holds out his hand, offering to shake mine. I shake his, but all of a sudden, he pulls me forward. Ooh. My body is close to his, and we're almost face to face.
But I know you feel the same way.
Now I'm having a bolgy-wolgy.
About sharing that bed? Let's see what happens on New Year's Eve.
I can feel his hot breath land on me as he speaks. Then he lets go, and I stumble back a couple of steps.
I guess that's it then.
I nod, and he grabs his packed-up bag. He begins to walk towards the exit, but stops in his tracks. He turns around to face me, like he's nervous.
I wanted to apologize for pointing fingers. Everything going on just made me a little paranoid.
Yeah, he seemed to all of a sudden be pointing fingers at literally everyone last time. Him and me both. I tell him that it's fine.
Well, it's not like I was paranoid over nothing. I heard something, and I'm just not sure if I should repeat it.
Well, now you kind of have to.
Is that how it works?
Yes, that's how it works. You can't be like, I heard this thing, but I guess I shouldn't tell anyone. That's how it works. Yeah.
Well, it's Clace. I heard him on the phone. He was saying stuff about how it's all going well.
He was probably just talking about his hiatus.
Yeah, well, I thought so too, but then he said, no, they don't know. Like he's keeping some sort of secret.
I can't tell which side he's working on, though. I feel like he's working with somebody. That is quite concerning. I'm sure there's some context we're lacking.
Maybe. Sure didn't help my anxiety. But I guess that's it. We're good to go.
We start to leave the plane, but that thought lingers in my mind. It's all going well. No, they don't know. Normally, I wouldn't worry, but it seems really odd. Especially combined with how he's always staring at us, taking notes, even though we just read his journal, or looked at the sketches. He says it's just his diary, but part of me is starting to question things. Could he be hiding something? I shrug, realizing it's not good to doubt my friends. But this time, when I shrug, the paranoia remains. Okay, supplemental
Experience
fragments.
supplemental
I need to blow my nose, sorry.
Hey, I've been thinking.
That's a start. Joke.
What's gonna happen next in our R&R campaign?
That's a GM secret, thank you very much.
Don't tell me you already have it planned.
I have it down to a science.
Cool.
You're not supposed to do that.
Huh?
A good GM lets their players build the story. You roll with what they give you. It's basically improv.
He's right, you know. Like, what if I betrayed Dante and killed him? Any story arcs you had planned would be totally shot.
I mean, that's just life.
Grim hypothetical, but it works. You have to be ready for anything, Taylor.
For some reason, I don't believe you. You're a novelist. There's no way you can wing your stories.
Is this Clace talking about himself?
It's kind of half and half. You can try your best to guide us down your chosen path, but at the end of the day, we're still able to forge our own.
Kinda reminds me of real life. We have Komorebi, but a lot of us defy our visions.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. Kinda reminds me of Argus's slogan.
Our future, your way.
I always thought that sounded so ominous.
Not really. I think it's more of an optimism thing. One person can change the world for everybody.
Makes sense that you'd see it that way.
What's that supposed to mean?
He's gonna be CEO.
It's a compliment, Isaac. I wonder if your R&R character is similar, though.
Not really. He thinks a lot smaller than me. More than anything, he wants to know the truth about his parents.
Ooh, is it backstory time?
So, yeah, in Winds of Change, I mean, I guess I already posted that thing. Oh god, we did post that episode. There's this very sad image that I saw on the internet of, Domek? Yeah, that's his name. It's amazing I was able to remember his name, but it's like, he knows about his parents. He didn't meet him in the, game, because they, stiffed him.
That's basically it. I was an information broker, right? I figure there was one piece of information I always wanted. Why my parents abandoned me and Mazeo as a child.
Okay, this is great stuff. I think I can weave it into the story.
What about my backstory? Right now, I feel like more of an archetype.
I wouldn't mind having a cool story too.
I actually already thought of mine.
Ooh, want to share with the class?
I think I want to use my influence and shape Mazeo. I'm already the Elder of Valenorth, right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Well, I think my parents were killed in Mazeo. It makes me want to change the nation, make it safer. That way, nobody else has to go through what I did.
I still wonder how much this is connected to the rest of the universe.
Pretty tragic.
What about mine? I was in charge of the rebellion, right?
Like if this is after Winds of Change or before.
Until Delta took over.
Well, I like to think that I lost my mentor figure. He was the leader before me, and I had to fill his shoes, but I'm inexperienced and struggle with adapting.
Makes sense. You're more of a right-hand man.
The handsome sidekick, remember?
Can I go next? I got a good one.
You're immortal.
Of course.
Or basically Highlander.
I used to work for the enemies. I know them better than anyone else. Because of that, I was able to help tip the war in our favor. But not everyone trusts me, and doubt lingers in the air.
I feel like most of the people trusted him.
Once a traitor, always a traitor, right?
Is that even a saying?
It is now.
We're quite the interesting group, huh? I wonder what Delta's backstory would be.
We should ask them after their appointment. If we get to choose our history, then so should they.
This is starting to get complicated. How am am I supposed to balance all these threads?
Just go with the flow, like you do with your chat. You may be streaming, but they're in control.
That's a metaphor, right?
Something like that. You're gonna be fine, Taylor. Don't worry.
I mean, I'm already fine.
I'll try, but if I need help, I'll ask.
Of course. We're all in this together now.
Fighting against fate both on and off the board. Kinda cool how our goals are similar no matter what lives we live.
That and also trying to get pussy. All the time.
You know what they say? Art imitates life.
Experience supplemental.
And gummies. Or cummies. God, it feels so much better now. Like, I feel a bit dizzy still, but still.
Alright, I'm in the store.
I know. I can see you.
Always taking time to sneak a peek, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this time, it's out of concern for your safety.
Wait, do you normally not care about my safety?
Isaac, don't answer that question.
What are you, his lawyer?
I'm going to take his advice.
Using the chat like this feels so weird. I mean, we're basically all in the same room.
It's what all the kids are doing these days. Socializing is overrated. Haven't you heard?
Says the guy throwing a massive New Year's Eve party.
Ah, you got me there.
Won't be much fun without all the snacks, though. We should stick to the plan and tell Taylor what to get.
Don't worry, I'm gonna be at the party either way. And we all know I'm the biggest snack of all.
Now I'm just mentally going down a thread of, like, how people used to interact in the past, because it's like, well, instead of walking up and find something in the house a few times, you just kind of text each other, or in the same house, and it's like, what? But back in the old, like these days, if you're like at a theme park or someplace, you just call or text each other. Back in the old days, it's like, well, if you lost sight of each other, you're kind of fucked.
Hey, how do I ban someone from this group chat? I'm asking for a friend, of course.
Hey! I was gonna treat you.
Ooh, fight, fight, fight! No fighting, remember? Also, I'm thinking potato chips for the party.
Heck yeah.
Salty then, just like Grace.
You're just mad because you didn't have a good comeback.
I got cum in your
He's
back.
got you there. As for my suggestion, I'm thinking gummies. Could you grab a couple tubs? One sweet, one sour?
You got it, boss. What about you, Delta? In the mood for anything specific?
Ooh, cheese board. It kind of sucks not having taste or smell. Hopefully it comes back soon. Like, I had extra hot curry yesterday. Kind of forgot it was extra hot because I didn't really taste it. But I felt it coming out this morning. Why is it that I can't lose that part? Cheese board.
Cheesy. Got it. Just like Dante's writing.
Haha,
I have a
got him.
suggestion. I want something I couldn't get on the colony. Surprise me, but make it something new.
That's actually a great suggestion. I like your sense of wonder, Chiron.
Well, it doesn't really narrow it down. Practically everything in the city is new to me. I was just trying to give you the hardest possible decision.
Moment ruined.
By the way, how many people are coming, Isaac?
A few dozen, easily.
How much is a few? Like 36? 48?
I guess I better lock my room then.
Oh, good idea. Don't want anybody going through our stuff.
Well, I trust everyone that's gonna show up. Caution is good, but probably not required.
Taylor's gonna be there.
Lock everything up.
He's gonna be looking for sex toys and lube. That reminds me of the time that I ordered a box of lube.
Experience supplemental fragment.
I used to live in West Texas, so I ordered it to go over there. If for some reason they decide to send it to my parents in East Texas, even though my address is on the box.
Hey, what if Argus agents come to the party?
I couldn't tell whether or not the box was already open, but it was like, seriously?
They won't.
The address was on there. West Texas.
How are you so certain?
But on the plus side, I got an extra box of lube. Well, actually, it was 3 boxes in a box, so I got 6 boxes of lube.
Well, we can turn away people at the door. After we scan them, it'll list their career.
You probably shouldn't let anyone with a low score in either.
Aside from me, I hope.
Aside from you.
How low is your score?
Don't worry, I'll make sure there's a good crowd. I'm not about to do any reckless things here.
So wait, did you say we're having a skin? I was thinking about lube.
You mean any more reckless things?
Yeah, that.
That's the thing I do not like about this game. You can't revisit fragments unless you load an old save, and you can't scroll back, and you can't do that thing that at least Game Coliseum does where you can like click on a thing over here and it just lists the stuff.
How would we know if they're an agent, though? I mean, Isaac could edit my identity and make me anybody. Couldn't Argus easily do the same, especially if they wanted to spy on us?
True.
And there goes all the fun I hope to have.
It's not gonna be like that, I promise. This is my house, and I plan to keep it safe.
Could you just give everybody's deets and then somehow disconnect it from the thing so they can't update it within the next couple of days? Kind of like the Wayfarer, since it was outdated.
I trust him. Otherwise, you'll just be paranoid all night. We're supposed to let loose and ring in the new year.
Yeah, new year, new beginning.
I just hope it's a good beginning.
It'll be the best.
Yeah, only a matter of time until you're passed out on the floor.
I like that sly smile. Granted, I like Rune from Dawn Courses better.
Aw, at least carry me to the couch if that happens.
It's hard to, you know, surpass Rune, though.
After drawing on your face, of course.
Heck yeah.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Willies.
Hold on, let's back up for a second. We should still have a contingency plan, right?
Couldn't hurt.
You mean like the karaoke thing?
Yeah, exactly.
You are gonna sing for us tonight, right?
Yep, have the song picked out and everything.
Awesome. This time, I won't miss it.
You were talking about a plan, though?
Oh, right. I know you think we'll be safe, and I trust you. But I don't think we should let our guard down. That's just what they'd want.
What do you think we should do?
Well, we'll be spread out, so we should use the group chat. And because of that, we don't really need discretion.
How is it, like, couldn't Argus just read all these things?
How about we just be up front? It's only the 6 of us in there anyway.
Works for me. Oh, and make sure nobody enters my workshop. I think we can all band together and keep this place safe.
Yeah, Discord that ruined me about that.
Same goes for my room.
And mine.
And mine.
Yeah, personal spaces are a top priority. I'll make sure to be on the lookout.
I was basically asking somebody in Komorebi or Clace's Discord a question, and then somebody added me. They hit it in spoilers, but they still added me with the thing in like, oh, you don't have kind of, well, it was basically about like, do we have a choice going in of his room? It's like, oh yeah, there's no difference between that and when you do this thing that we haven't gone to yet. It's like, I just said I only got to chapter 3. Could you have... And I just did this. Could you not have done that?
This is actually kind of cool.
I know we're in spoiler chat, but come on.
How so?
You don't add somebody spoilers.
Almost feels like we're secret agents. Nobody knows what we're really up to here.
Let's do our best to keep it that way. You ready to start setting up?
Yeah, for sure. Time is running out. Especially if we want to fit all those midnights in.
You all down for mimosas? It'll make setup more fun at least.
Ah, mimosas. The magic word.
Meet me in the kitchen?
Racy there.
Oh, it's on.
Though if I wanted to do that midnight thing, I'd really have to pace myself. Because I am a bit of a sprinter sometimes.
Experience supplemental fragment.
This might be a bit longer one since we're close to the end of this chapter.
Hey, what did you think of Hermes' message? You've all been pretty quiet about it.
Not used to seeing people hijack the airwaves. Kinda gives their words more power.
Yeah, if you can do that, you can do anything. I'm surprised that Cypher slipped up with their initial plan.
It could have been intentional.
How so?
Well, Isaac needed their failure, right? That's how he was able to give that phone the Chiron. It stands to reason that Hermes could have done the same. A test run to see how things really needed to go.
It makes sense. And Chiron does seem to slip under the radar. You know, I'm starting to feel hopeful about all this.
Why is there an agent on our trail then?
Oh, now the hope is gone.
Allegedly on our trail, you mean? It hasn't happened again, has it, Delta?
It hasn't, but the Wayfarer incident could have been a slip-up.
No, it couldn't be. The back door and the apple. They wanted you to know that they were privy to our moves.
This doesn't make any sense. If they knew about the back door, they must have been there with us. Or, at the very least, watching us through security cameras.
Well, remember, we left because we were worried. Clace thought somebody was watching us.
Yeah, and they could have seen you leave through the back door. I knew my instinct was right. Something just seemed off about them.
About them?
That has to be it. They probably saw Dante leave his wallet, too.
They knew one of us would come back.
What was their goal then? Just to rub it in our faces?
It doesn't explain the apple, though.
Yeah, that was way before we did anything wrong. They would have had no reason to watch us back then. Unless...
I don't like where this is going.
I think I've figured it out. They could have seen us sneaking out of the Wayfarer. After that, they would have looked into our identities. They would have seen the incident where Dante dropped the booze. It'd check out, though, since I already had Chiron in the system. But if they went back a step further...
Yeah, we're totally dead.
They would have seen the Apple incident. And back then, he was clearly a zero.
Bingo.
Great! So it's a fruit that does us in.
The forbidden fruit. Kind of poetic, isn't it?
There's just one thing that's missing. Why haven't they cracked down on you yet?
You mean us yet?
Sure.
It's a good question. But if Argus is good at one thing...
It's watching.
It's weird that that is put out as a question.
Honestly, that's even scarier. Makes you wonder what their goal is.
They probably think we're involved with Cypher. Especially if we're the first to integrate a zero.
I'm gonna try and remain optimistic here. What if they just want to see how this all plays out? You know, if a zero can successfully live in the city.
You know, if that's the case, we're putting on a pretty good show.
I guess we won't know until the 5th of January.
So, we just live in anxiety until then?
Pretty much.
What
Same
else
as
is new?
usual. Oh man, it feels like my nose is stuffed, but also filled with toothpaste, and my throat's filled with toothpaste. You know where it has that...
Experience supplement.
Oh, what would it be? Kind of odd freshness that's a little uncomfortable. I mean, I did brush my teeth recently, but I didn't swallow it. Ooh.
Hey, I have a request.
Denied.
What? Not fair.
Fine, go ahead.
I just wanted to spend a midnight with Delta. Are you okay with me claiming one of the 4?
Ooh, ooh.
We're kind of dating now, so I think it's a pretty reasonable request.
Fine, that's fair. But I get one too. We kinda have a thing together.
I actually want to request a midnight with Delta too. At the Triple R, I kind of asked them out on a date.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. You're quite the heartthrob, Delta.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's not awkward if I ask for one too.
Nice. I wonder what happened if I played this game and wasn't seducing anyone. Just everybody being like, so... we're not going to talk about who wants to kiss Delta. No one wants to.
I'm gonna make this a whole lot easier on you. I don't need a midnight. I can mingle whenever.
Ooh, ooh.
So if I'm not mistaken, That leaves one for each of you.
Really? You don't want a special moment with Delta?
Trust me, I can make any moment special. I don't need the safety net of a midnight.
It's not a safety net, though. Midnight is genuinely special. It only happens once a year.
Yeah, and Chiron just needs the other 58 minutes between the midnights.
I guess we don't make a big deal out of it on the colonies. It's nice to ring in another year, but they all kind of blur together.
It do be like that.
I can see the allure when you live in a city like this, though. And I heard about something called, resolutions?
You don't have those out there?
There's not much to aspire to, but in the city, I bet I could come up with one. Do any of you have a resolution?
Any of you?
I haven't thought about it, to be honest.
Ooh, I have a fun idea.
And that is...
It's a concept you come up with in your head.
very funny. You know what I meant.
Sorry, couldn't pass up the opportunity. But I was gonna say, everybody come up with a resolution. We'll meet during the party and share them all together.
Are you supposed to share them?
That's a great idea. I'm in.
Yeah, then we can all hold each other accountable.
Oh, accountability, my worst enemy.
I'm sure we can beat it if we work together. Let's go with the flow and gather up when we're all free.
Oh? Planning to be a social butterfly?
Mm-mm.
You know it. I don't get to have people over too often. Gotta take the time to savor every opportunity.
You're just making your life sound lonely.
It do be like that.
You're the expert, so I'll take your word for it.
Oh, wow.
Experience supplemental fragment. Party time.
Party time. Wait, did we already go through all the journals? It doesn't seem green anymore.
Everybody ready to party?
Party time.
Born ready.
Just having my pre-evening caffeine?
How on earth are you gonna fall asleep tonight?
Not planning on it.
I mean, Gubby.
Oh, Dante's in party mode?
For once, I'm really feeling it. But I've always loved the vibe of New Year's Eve.
Why is that?
You know, a fresh start. A chance to leave our mistakes behind.
I can see the appeal in that. But it's just another day, you know?
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like one. It's really hard to put into words.
Putting things into words is your entire career.
Fair.
Yeah, but it's the indescribable that compels me. The things that are hard to put into words.
Like how waking up on a Monday feels?
Exactly. One of the worst feelings ever.
Or the type of green that is a green but is not green that feels like a mauve or something like that. I always hated stories that did that. Some of the worst books I've read was To the Lighthouse, because I was really boring. It was like, we wanted to go to the lighthouse, but then it was stormy, so we couldn't. And then the mother put cloth over a trophy skull because she didn't like it, but it was a metaphor because she died that night. And then years later they went to the lighthouse, and somebody painted the lighthouse in a painting, and then this guy felt like a man because he rode to the lighthouse. It's like, well, that's a couple hours I wasted in my life. Also, Last American Man, I thought it was a bad story, but then I thought it was an interesting story because it, and sorry for the side notes, but it's a book where somebody's like, this guy is, you know, a wild man, and he learns how to live in the wild, and she seems to be totally infatuated with this guy who is actually a piece of shit. But then I find it actually kind of fascinating where it's like, hey, the way that this guy treats women is pretty much the same way his father treated him, which I find kind of interesting. And I don't think that the author thought of doing that, because she just seemed to be like, this guy's so great because he's a real man, because the title of the book's The Last American Man.
I can agree with that one.
So, picture the opposite of waking up on a Monday.
Friday?
Like waking up on your own without an alarm.
Yeah, perfect example. Go ahead and multiply that by like 1,000,000. That's how New Year's Eve feels to me.
Sounds like the best day ever.
Best day.
And I'm not even exaggerating. Some of my best memories come from New Year's.
Eve, at least not New Year's Day.
Even the massive hangover you're bound to have.
Yeah.
It's just part of the experience. But if it's really bad, we can just always have a shot or two.
No, don't do hair of the dog.
So you do believe my hangover remedy?
Not really, but tomorrow is the day I'd give it a shot. Always gotta start the new year with a new experience.
A shot to ease a hangover?
Isn't that stupid?
Yeah.
No, it actually works.
I mean, it makes the hangover feel better. Because I'm not sure about the chemical stuff, but then you kind of don't care because you're, hungover. Or because you're kind of in drinky thing again. But the problem is, you might kind of slip back into drinky mode again.
Oh? You ease a lot of hangovers?
Yeah, it happens more than you'd think. Of course, the best option is just no booze at all.
Yep.
And like always, the best option is the hardest one. There's no way I'm gonna hold back on New Year's Eve.
You know, we've been drinking an awful lot since Delta arrived.
Gotta live it up while it still feels new and fresh. But, aside from the convention, I'm cutting back in the new year.
I hope so too.
Oh, planning to party at the convention too?
Absolutely! Plenty of streamer friends are going. It's hard to make plans with them unless it's a big event like this.
Makes sense. It's the one time your schedules are unified. Bet you'll get to do all sorts of collabs.
Lives.
Yeah, but none as big as the one I did with Clace. Kinda feels like I'll be chasing that high for a while.
Especially since you banged him.
It's good to have a goal that feels impossible. Sometimes that's the only way you can actually pull it off. It's the belief that you can achieve it that ends up being important.
If that were true, your writing would be a lot better.
Whoa.
Fighting on New Year's Eve. You know what? I'm down for a brawl. Been looking for an excuse to put you in your place.
Now there's a good stream idea. Settle our feud the old-fashioned way.
Banging?
You want your viewers to see you lose?
He already does that in video games. It wouldn't be a big change.
Whoa.
Why is everyone ganging up on me? I made us pre-game mimosas and everything.
Hey, did you all take a look outside?
What's up?
It looks like there's a lineup.
For our house?
Isaac, how many people did you invite?
The right amount. You ready to get things started?
It's time already?
Sure is.
I'm totally ready. You good with an audience, Taylor?
Can I, place a bet on this fight?
No. No fighting at my party.
But it
Aw.
would be such easy money.
Wait, who would you bet on?
Kinda figured that one was obvious.
It do be like that. Oh geez, we are a bit over time, but that's fine, because, next episode we'll be doing the chapter interlude.
View which journal
Did we do this one already? Yes.
View which journal entry.
Okay.
View which journal.
Hearing Hermes on the TV at Isaac's work was actually kind of terrifying, and putting in a voice that name things more real. Also, here's all these diamonds again. Important? Not sure. Oh yeah, I did... Speaking of spoilers, I did ask somebody if the words mean anything important, and somebody said it did. Even though the voice was really distorted, it... Still. I mean, I would be like, hey, this is a typo, but then I guess it could be Delta's typo. Sent shivers down my spine. I looked out the window after speech and saw people giving food to zeros, but it didn't seem like nearly enough to make any real difference. At least it signals that people were becoming less and less afraid of Argus and more confident in their ability to change what's happening on the streets. Hopefully, this kind of stuff snowballs, ooh, especially now that Hermes has made his intent clear. Phones, identities, and permanent city life will be given to every zero in Toronto next Sunday. Economically speaking, this is a positive thing. Like Hermes said, it would end the land crisis presented to presented to life on the colonies, and also create more jobs. Now, is it that we're taking land from the Zeros so that they have less land, or what? Because I remember something about a land crisis that Chiron knows, but we don't. Yeah, but what was it? Land crisis? Must create more jobs, more income. It should also be control tests, see if that change could be sustainable. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Cities would be free to expand without worry of irreversible harm. Colonies, Argus would no longer have a monopoly on the system anymore either. If other people could do it, then companies would arise, same services. If I were Argus, then potentially losing substantial amounts of money would be definitely swinging the action. I wonder if that's a threat or scare tactic. Either way, it's odd how Hermes keeps putting their foot forward and Argus remains completely still. Perhaps they're just confident in their victory, planning something in the background, question mark? Or maybe they just accepted what's going on and is going to happen, letting Hermes act. Either way, the outcome will change a lot, and that's really scary to think about it. I wonder if there's like a plot, you know, a story where like you have like one totalitarian thing, and then, you know, the freedom fighters take over that totalitarian thing, but then those freedom fighters become the next totalitarian thing, and that's kind of the thing that you might see every now and then. But then a new freedom fighters group arises to take over, to, you know, overthrow that new totalitarian. Then they get totalitarian, and then that whole overarching story is that it's all the same group. It's just that, you know, they make up these things to change, to keep people in line, because most people do this, but then when they feel like it's enough, they get somebody else to do that, and then like the people that you know what I mean.
View which journal entry.
Which our Rebels campaign is going pretty good. There seems to be a developing story. We might even be near the end of it. I wonder what's going to happen with all of our characters. It's interesting how in both worlds. I have no idea what's going to happen next. Some stability would be nice? Question mark. I thought I was doing better, but my paranoia keeps coming back. These intense mood swings are getting the better of me, and it's becoming difficult to maintain my composure. Why did Chiron have to tell me about hearing Clace on the phone? Sorry, burped. That's done nothing but make my life hell. When we were with Isaac at work, I was on his phone. He did his best to remain out of earshot on purpose. It's not helping during our R&R session. He was glued to his diary again. No, they don't know. What is he keeping from us? Who's he talking to on the phone? Why is he constantly jotting down notes in his book? There's no way he'd be spying on us there. Spying on us, is there? Taking notes and reporting them back to somebody else? I'm starting to have a panic attack as I write this. There's no way. We're all friends in this together, but a little peace of mind wouldn't hurt, would it? There's those symbols again.
View which journal entry.
I did something I shouldn't have. I did something I shouldn't have. I did something I shouldn't have. Some of the straight out shouldn't have. What does this mean?
View which journal entry.
I didn't want to do it. Why did I do it? I feel like the worst person in the world. It's like I wasn't even in control of my own body. It's like someone was moving for me and making choices. I thought I left this kind of stuff back home. Interesting. The stress is baggage. Perhaps it would be easier if I could talk to my counselor about it, but I can't. Right now, it seems like the safety of our group and our actions need to come before my own mental health. It's not fair. Quantum Leap is today. I'm going to be spending 4 different midnights with 4 different friends. Clace, Dante, Isaac, and Taylor. Chiron didn't seem interested, and we could just hang out earlier in the party. But I'm so worried about spending time alone with Clace, especially after what I did, and especially with what I know about him now. I hate everything. This feeling of losing control, like I'm watching someone else's life instead of my own. I know what else are symptoms of these are, and it's not good. I just can't shake this paranoia. But is it really paranoia if I know I'm being watched? Or is it a fright that's justified? It's not just sometimes though. It feels like I'm being watched every single second, on a level that I can't quite describe. I don't know how that's possible, and this will probably come across delusional, but I have one question. Are you reading this right now? Yes. Well, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. It's fine that this was overtime. It do be like that sometimes. So...
Experience culmination fragment.
Nope. That's gonna be the end of this Let's Play.
Would you like to change the status of...
Okay, I was kind of wondering if that was a thing, because it's like, okay...
Would you like to change the status?
You can tell the difference between these things. But if you're in dog
Would you like
mode,
to change the status?
you can't tell. But yeah, that's the end of this Let's Play. So comment, cause I like comments, tell me what you like this, you like tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and likes it, girl, then please like, subscribe, and check out every Chrome. Please remember to spay your animals to help control the pet population. And yeah. Luckily the time that somebody spoiled me, I did have a few, because it was the end of the evening and I was just like, fuck it. We ballin'. Yeah, at least right now they seem to be a bit fewer and farther between. I haven't been particularly good this month, mentally wise and all that, but it do be like that. Anyways, until next time, that's me, GamerWolfSix of Komorebi. So thanks and see ya.